Alright, so for this video, we will be discussing how to rename, move, and delete Excel worksheets. So to start off, let's go ahead and rename our current worksheet. What we need to do is come down here to the Sheet tab, and there's two ways to rename this. We can either double click on the Sheet tab, and we can start typing a new name for the worksheet. So let's call this sheet Report. And we can click Enter. And now this sheet is named Report. The other way is by coming down to the Sheet tab again, right-clicking on the Sheet tab, and clicking Rename. And once again, it highlights it. But since we already had the name in there, I'm just going to press Enter again. And I strongly advise getting into the habit of renaming your sheets, because sometimes in Excel workbook, you might have 15 sheets or even more. And instead of clicking through Sheet 1, Sheet 2, Sheet 3, Sheet 4 to figure out which sheet you need to do work in, we can easily locate our report by the sheet name. Alright, next let's talk about deleting worksheets. And for this example, I'm going to add a few more sheets, and what we need to do is click this plus sign down here at the bottom next to our sheet tabs. I'm going to give it just a few clicks to add some sheets. And let's say we want to delete Sheet 2. What we're going to do is right click on the sheet tab that we want to delete and click delete. So pretty simple, but there is a catch when you are deleting worksheets. This action cannot be undone. And you will notice if you come up here to the quick access toolbar, the undo button is grayed out. We cannot undo deleting worksheets. So if you accidentally delete a worksheet, I would make sure to not save your workbook, close it, and when you open back up, your sheet that you accidentally deleted will still be there. Now let's talk about moving worksheets. I'm going to come back down here to the Sheet tabs, add a new sheet, and let's say we want to move our report sheet between Sheet 1 and Sheet 3. All we have to do is click and drag the worksheet, and you notice there's a little black arrow showing where we want to place the sheet. So if we want to place it between Sheet 1 and Sheet 3, the black arrow will be right in between those, and we'll let go. Now it goes Sheet 1, Report, then Sheet 3. Let's go ahead and move our report sheet back to the beginning. Now let's talk about how we can create a copy of a worksheet. So the first option we can do is to give our Sheet tab a right click and click Move or Copy. So we want to select the sheet that we want to create a copy of, which is the report sheet. Come down and make sure we click this checkbox, Create a Copy. And if we click OK, now a Report 2 sheet has been created. The reason why the 2 pops up is because you cannot have 2 sheets with the same name. Another way to create a copy of a worksheet is to click Control on your keyboard, or Command if you're on Mac, and click and drag to where you want to create the copy, and you should see a little paper symbol with a plus icon show up. And if we let go, now our Report 3 sheet has been created. We can also move sheets to different workbooks that we have open as well. For example, I'm going to open up another workbook. So now I have a new workbook, Book 1, open, and I'm going to come back to our monthly expense report. I'm just going to take one of the copy report sheets, and I'm going to give this sheet tab a right click, go back to Move or Copy. So up here it says Move Selected Sheets. So the sheet that I want to move is report number 3, and right here where it says To Book, right now we're in the monthly expense workbook, but if we click this drop down arrow, we can select Book 1, and then we can select where we want the sheet to be placed. So either before Sheet 1 or move to the end. I'm just going to select Move to the end and click OK. So now we're back in Book 1, and we have our blank Sheet 1, and we moved our copy report to the end inside of Book 1. But this is what you need to watch out for. If we go back to our monthly expense workbook, now we don't see the Report 3 sheet. It's because we moved it to a new workbook and didn't create a copy to the new workbook. So for example, let's say we want to create a copy of the Report 2 sheet to the new workbook that we created. we would give this sheet a right click, select Move or Copy. We're going to choose which book we want to move it to, so Book 1, and then we're going to select Create a Copy and move it to the end and click OK. So now we're back in Book 1, and now we have Sheet 1, Report 3, and Report 2. And now if we go back to our monthly expense workbook, our Report 2 sheet is still there.